Welcome back, everybody. This is Tom with Gold Spot Pens, and today I am joined here with Kiran Mehra, president of Gold Spot, and this is Scott Hammer, a sales representative for Itoya, which is the distributor of Sailor Pens in the United States. So we're here to talk about Sailor Pens today. One of the things we wanted to kind of go over is for anybody who's a little bit new to the brand, is to talk a little bit about Sailor, about the history of this brand.
Sailor Pen has acquired a significant technical heritage and confidence in our business over the past century since its establishment in 1911. It is Sailor's spirit to pursue the soft feel and smooth writing performance through in-house production. Sailor Pen has always been at the forefront of innovation in writing instruments, new materials, new technology, quality, etc. Our challenge has continuously been to contribute to society, people, and culture, always remembering the pioneering spirit and inspiration of Mr. Kayagoro Sakata, the founder. The history of Sailor Pen started when Mr. Kayagoro Sakata encountered a fountain pen. He was given a fountain pen by a friend returning from the UK after studying at the Royal Navy. He was immediately inspired to produce fountain pens in Japan himself. After much experimentation with solid gold nibs, he perfected the forging and tipping techniques required for this, combined with hand-pressed ebonite caps and barrels with an eyedropper filling system, allowed the first production of Sailor fountain pens with gold nibs in Japan. Sailor's ongoing spirit of inspiration, the soft feel and smooth writing performance, and in-house production remain the core strength of the product development, the product quality, and the success of the company worldwide.
The quality that you guys provide in your product is just bar none. So I'm thrilled to have you.
Thank you.
We have a lot of questions for you today.
One person, Two Inkling, is the username on Instagram, and had said, will it ever be possible that a 1911S or like a standard, or let's say a Pro Gear Slim, would have a 21 karat gold nib?
Certainly they are open to our insight. I can let them know that there are consumers that are asking for that.
Like Nate Champion on Instagram had asked, will the exotic nibs like the Naginata Togi, the Crosspoint Emperor, the Concord, are they going to be, in circulation at all in any sort of capacity in production?
Yes, they will. At some point in time in the future, they will be back in production. I think it'll be a much more streamlined offering of our prized jewels, which is the Sailor nib.
Another question from Pastor Ron 53. He had asked about the Shikiori ink bottles, the 20 mil ones, or the squarish ones. Are those going to be like more of the norm? Like, are they going to be going away from the gentle ink bottles, like the swatter type of ink bottles, and going to the smaller 20 milliliter bottles?
Sailor has not set a directive on that all inks moving forward, all new inks will be in that smaller bottle. On the 50 ml bottles that we have, they will be removing the well out of the bottle. So what we're doing is we're removing the inkwell and we are making it available as an accessory.
Okay, so Scott, you've brought us this beautiful selection of pens, which look absolutely gorgeous. What's like the first thing that somebody thinks of when they think of a Sailor pen?
When someone thinks of Sailor Pen, they think of the nibs. Sailor has always had a master nibs designer and craftsman that's been the inspiration for the product line that we know today. One of the original nibs craftsmen, his name was Nobuyushi Nagahara. He has since passed down this art intact to his son Yukio Nagahara. The Sailor nib range is something that they put a lot of tender love and care into. It is the heartbeat of our writing instruments.
And they have a classic design. It's just you know, that classic cigar sort of shape that, you know, and it's just very elegant, you know, simple.
Writes like a dream.
Exactly.
It glides on the paper.
Our broad writes more like a medium.
Yeah.
Our medium writes like a fine. Our fine like an extra fine. And our extra fine writes like no other pen in the world. We've actually got a hidden gem in our line called the medium fine nib, which is one of our best-selling nibs.
Right.
Besides those standard 5 nibs that we have, we also get into offering a music nib, which is a single slip double tine nib. Another specialty nib that we offer is our zoom nib. As you lower the angle of the pen, there will be a variance in the line width, and it'll go from a thin dry line to a very bold and wet line.
Right.
It has a lot of versatility.
Yeah.
Scott, let's say I don't know anything about sailor pens. How would you guide them into being able to find, you know, choose a particular sailor pen between the two different models in the 7 nib sizes?
I think that buying a fountain pen is similar to buying a pair of shoes. You should try on the pair of shoes before you buy it, and you should try the fountain pen. I like to have consumers that have a small or medium size hand use our 1911S, the standard.
And that's this guy.
That's that Fresca Blue,
Yep.
which has a 14 karat gold nib. The companion pen in a Pro Gear model is the Pro Gear Slim, which is basically the same size when the cap is posted. It carries a 14 karat gold nib. And the nice thing about the 1911 standard and the Pro Gear Slim is that in the standard colors, it's $195 retail price point.
For a lot of people these days who prefer, like, let's say a little, you know, something a little bit more larger, then that's where you would come in with, I guess, the 1911 large, right?
Yeah, the 1911 large would be a perfect fit. That uses a 21 karat gold nib. In our standard models, that's a $310 retail price. And it's a great value for a 21 karat solid gold sailor nib. The 1911L, or the Pro Gear standard model, is a little bit larger of a nib.
So this on the right is the 1911 standard, and then this on the left here is the large. Let's say the 1911 large with its 21 karat rather large nib and its rather large size doesn't quite cut it. Then you have the King of Pen, which,
That thing is huge.
you know, like this, just looking at the massive size of just comparing the nib, it's just huge.
It's a pretty spectacular nib. It's a beautiful nib.
Another thing which I noticed too is that it still has a converter in it too. So it's still, you know, you could use the same type of converter that you would with any of the other models of Sailor. We have a brand new North American exclusive, which we were really excited that we could actually get a piece here to take a look at today. Yeah, we could grab that and do like an official unveiling.
Can I do it?
Absolutely.
Okay. We have the new North American exclusive for Sailor this year, the Stormy Sea. And I love this pen.
It's a beautiful
Oh
color.
my gosh.
So this is not just a standard flat type of resin that, you know, not to say flat, but like it's not just a normal colored resin like you would see with, let's say, the Fresca or the Royal Tangerine. There's something else that's going on here that gives it that metallic, you know, sort of finish. And it's kind of got like, also, not only is it metallic, but I could kind of sense that there's like a very faint swirl that's also in there too, which is not something that I was expecting necessarily, but it's quite charming.
Yes.
And the fact that it's also called Stormy Sea, so you get the swirls that mimic the ocean waves and whatnot.
It adds a little texture and depth to the color.
I think that this one is definitely a winner in my book. Will there be any like future editions of the, let's say, like the North American exclusive or any other new 1911s and Pro Gears that we could expect in the future?
Yes, you can definitely look forward to some exciting new pens. I'm pretty much privy to what's going to be released and when it's going to be released, but I can't tell you. A lot of new colors, a lot of new styles that are going to be coming out, some great new inks. It's going to be an exciting year.
Thank you guys so much for joining us for this Sailor video, and I hope that you guys learned a lot about Sailor pens and that you're as excited as we are about the new 1911 North American exclusive Stormy Sea. If you guys have any questions for us here, you can always leave a comment below, or you could also email us. You can email me directly at tom@goldspot.com. And I want to thank our guest, Scott Hammer.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And you leave us with some of your parting thoughts before we close the video.
It's an honor and a privilege to have you guys as a customer and as a friend, and thank you for carrying the complete offering of Sailor pens.
Oh, it's our pleasure, because I mean, it's just an absolute piece of art that you could write with.
It's like a piece of jewelry.
If you guys are absolutely in love with Sailor pens and you want to keep abreast of all of the awesome new stuff that's coming out, sign up for our email newsletter list at goldspot.com. There's a link on the homepage to do so. Follow us on social media at Goldspot Pens. That's the @ Goldspot Pens on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Facebook. Thank you again to Scott Hammer and for Kiran to join us today, and wish you guys a great day and stay inky, my friends.
Thank
Take care.
you.
Take care.